dear Nan's divorce trial.
Marquis versus Marquis.
Yes.
Superior Court number 2.
Oh, thank you, officer.
Yes, Chloe, yes. You know, I'm broad-minded, but I was positively shocked.
Well, I usually don't care much for divorce cases, but this...
Too bad we missed his other trial.
Seldom in my long career as an attorney have I encountered a man who can claim no virtue. But I say to you, you have such a man in your courtroom today. Cold-blooded and ruthless, unmoved by the pain he has caused, Kenneth Marquis smugly sits there, gloating. And a poor, loyal, trusting girl suffers. Girl, I say, and yet she is little more than a child, innocent and unworldly. Kenneth Marquis treated her like dirt, Your Honor. And from the moment they were married, yes, even on her bridal night, insults and injuries were heaped upon her.
Included in that heap was a 50-foot schooner and a string of pearls, to say nothing of a blonde mink, a silver blue mink, and a rainbow mink. Bless her furry little heart. Much as I dislike that poisonous wench, I'm beginning to dislike that attorney of hers even more, if possible. Oh, shh.
Anything happen? Oh, that worm hasn't even stuck his head out yet to tell me what's going on. Hope this'll work. I do too. Hurry. Your mother wouldn't recognize you. If he sees us together, he might guess who you are.
Uh-oh.
You can take off the dark glasses, Corliss. Your father said no, and no it is.
Oh, the positively humiliating things. You'd think they'd broadcast the trial or put it on television. They do when the president speaks or when there's a baseball game. I mean, after all, Kenneth Marquis's romances are certainly more interesting than a baseball game. Aren't you going to wait for Dexter? I suppose. 3 wives seem like such a lot. Maybe not if you have them one at a time.
Hi, Corliss.
Don't hi Corliss me. I've been waiting for 2 hours for you to come out and tell me what's happened.
Okay. Marcus has been on the stand since the last time I came out. Holy cow, is he a smooth character?
Did he talk about his other wives?
Just refer to them by number. Boy, number 1 must have been a dilly.
The New York nightclub dancer.
Huh? He says he was so upset over her that he married number 2, which was such a mistake that he really didn't know what he was doing when the last one came along. She's a doll, too. I like to be confused like him. He knew what he was doing.
Dexter, I sent you in there to listen, not to get ideas.
Looking at that, babe, how can you help getting ideas?
From now on, don't look. Just listen. And I want you to make a complete report on everything that's said.
Holy cow, I've been enjoying myself, not preparing for an exam.
Dexter Franklin, you go back in there, and this time make notes.
Kenneth Marquis is a moral leper. Think of that girl, the wife who loved him. What if she were your daughter? Suppose your child or mine had listened to his weasel words, fallen in love and married him only to be cast aside later by this betrayer. Your Honor, Kenneth Marquis took this girl to be his wedded wife. Now that he is tired of his plaything, he wants to be rid of her. I say to you, he must be taught a lesson. He must learn that a decent man does not take lightly the bonds of wedlock. Let us see if this Bluebeard will again destroy the life of an innocent girl if it costs him $1 million.
Listen to this, right on the front page. Marquis's third wife wins $200,000. Local attorney jubilant over victory. Harry P. Archer stated today that the money granted Kenneth Marquis's wife was a justification of honor and decency. The stake in this case was principle, not money, Archer continued. Of course, money is important, too.
Of course.
About money, Mummy, darling. Mildred and I want to go to the movies tonight. I know I'm a little overdrawn on my allowance, but I need $1.50 and...
No money.
But it's a matter of principle with me, too.
Oh, Corliss!
Besides, Principal, Bert Lancaster's making a personal appearance at the show. Mommy, I've just got to go.
Why did you answer Dexter?
Because if I do, he'll think I'm not mad.
Angry, dear, not mad. And why are you?
I'm not. He's saving up for a new axle, and I'll never talk him into spending money for the show unless he thinks he's in the doghouse and tries to make up by taking me out. Besides, I like to watch the poor goons suffer.
Honestly, Corliss, I think it's about time you stopped acting like a child. You're 17. You're too old for that kind of teasing.
Why didn't you answer me? Holy cow, Corliss, just tell me. What did I do? What did I do?
If you don't know yourself, there's no point in discussing it.
But what do you... Holy cow, how can dames be so unreasonable?
Oh, so now I'm unreasonable.
Well, I didn't mean it that way.
Instead of apologizing, you accuse me of being unreasonable.
Okay, I apologize. I'm sorry.
And so you should be.
I still don't think it was so terrible.
Is that so? That's interesting.
Look, I know why you're sore. Okay, so I bought Betty Campbell a Coke. I just happened to bump into her at Schroeder's, and after all, a guy has to be polite.
My dear boy, I assure you that your childish infatuation for that frizzed-out blonde is a matter of the most complete and utter indifference to me. Now, please go away.
But holy cow, Corliss!
And even if you begged to take me to the movies tonight, I wouldn't be interested. I have other plans.
Ah, dry up.
Hi, Miss Hibbs. Hello, Corliss. Is Daddy in? Busy just now. There's someone with him. I can't wait. I'm in the awfulest rush. Corliss, do anything. Daddy, I'm sorry, but something terribly important is...
Corliss, I won't have you breaking into my office when I'm busy.
I am Kenneth Marquis, party of the second part.
Hello. I'm Corliss Archer. Daddy's my father.
Oh, really?
Mm-hmm.
This is Mr. Taylor.
How do you do?
Wait outside, Corliss.
But Daddy, Angel.
Don't call me Daddy Angel.
Daddy, I've just got to have $1.50.
I told you to wait outside.
Rather than witness your cherished behavior, I should be most happy to advance, or if necessary, donate the money myself.
That's very sweet of you.
Don't take that money!
Your poor father's ungraciousness stems partly from a natural tendency to be stuffy and an unnatural reluctance to part with folding money.
Kenneth, take it easy.
Oh, you don't know my daddy at all. He
Don't
really...
speak to that man.
Daddy, about my $1.50.
Archer, if we could get back to the business in hand.
I'll talk to you outside. Now, alone.
If I were in your position, I should be completely underwhelmed.
It's been awfully nice meeting you, Mr. Marquis.
Oh, and if the indignity of taking money from Daddy dear ever becomes too great to bear, don't hesitate to call on me.
Stop needling, Archer. We'll never get a settlement.
You know, I am seriously considering dedicating my entire life to the needling of Harry P. Archer. Nothing gives me greater pleasure.
Of course, Archer, we can appeal that verdict, but wouldn't it be smarter to settle out of court?
I will not settle for 1 cent less than $200,000.
Well, as you are obviously a man of no pliability of mind, I will leave now, so that I can, in peace and quiet, contemplate various horrible accidents that may luckily befall you. Good day.
Hold your hand still. Wait a minute.
Hi. Nice color.
I can't do this left-handed. Ever since you began taking that mail-order tap dancing course, you've become positively insufferable.
Well, at least I got you to talk to me.
I suppose I should make allowances for your mental condition. Schizophrenia.
Huh?
Split personality. Although how you can split a nothing, I don't know.
What's the matter with my personality?
It accounts for the way you act. Half unreasonable, half childish. We saw a movie about mental things last night.
You should see it. Maybe you'd realize what a jerk you are.
I like you, too.
Richard Widmark was split, but Humphrey Bogart had amnesia. He forgot everything for 10 years.
I'd like to have amnesia. I could forget I know.
Likewise, I'm sure. Hi, Mr. Archer.
Janet.
Hi, Daddy, dear.
Hello, Mildred. Your mother home, Corliss?
Mm-hmm.
Hi, Mr. Archer.
Dexter, I want to talk to you.
Well, I'm glad somebody does. Okay, Mr. Archer, shoot.
Did you tell your parents where you were last night?
They didn't ask.
Do you know where I was?
No, but you don't have to tell me if you don't want to.
I was at the Penguin Club.
What were you doing at a place like that?
Well, I was there for the Citizens Committee. Never mind me. What were you doing there?
Who, me?
Yes, you.
You mean you actually went to a gambling club?
How did you know there was gambling? It's supposed to be just a restaurant.
Well, everybody knew about the gambling.
The Citizens Committee didn't.
Gosh, Mr. Archer, I was just looking around.
Was it exciting?
So you deliberately went there to gamble.
No, Jimmy Phillips, who used to go to Jefferson High, parks cars there. He snuck me in because I wanted to see the place.
How much did you win?
I just happened to have an extra quarter.
Uh-huh. The Citizens Committee is going to have that place closed. And what about the girl you were with?
A girl?
Is that a proper place to take a girl?
Who was she? Never mind. I'm sure it was that frizzed-out blonde.
Holy cow,
Why,
Corliss.
you insignificant little worm. I never want to speak to you again as long as I live.
Me too.
Gosh, Mr. Archer, why'd you have to tell her?
Because I think she should know. If you have no more sense than to take a girl to the Penguin Club, I don't want you taking out my daughter.
Holy cow, you can't do this to me.
And if you have any gentlemanly instincts at all, you'll return that picture I gave you of me in a bathing suit.
I turned blue.
Just once in my own house. I'd like to have a paper I can read.
You're looking for the funnies. Corliss has them.
Listen, I didn't come to spend the night just to hear you gripe about Dexter.
I shudder to think that someday I might forget how mad at him I am tonight.
I'll always be glad to remind you.
Yes, but what if you're not around? Just the thought of not being mad at him makes me furious.
Corliss, where are the rest of the paper? Let you girls go to bed.
I'm going to write in my diary exactly what I think of Dexter, and then I won't forget.
Oh.
How do you spell baboonish?
I don't know. Draw a picture.
Well, come in.
Here's your things.
I packed them and forgot them.
Thanks, Raymond.
Toothbrush, nightie, peanut brittle, true confessions. You're gonna stay over here for a month?
Go away.
Don't worry, I think diaries are dumb.
You think everything is dumb.
And mostly I'm right. Hey, how about let me bind your diary in leather? Only $2.
A girl would have to be out of her mind to let you get your hands on a diary.
Just to show you I trust you, Raymond, I'll let you bind it.
50 cents down.
I'll pay you when you bring it back. But, Raymond, I'm trusting you. There are things in this diary that just no one can see. It would be terrible if...
Corliss, I don't know if you've gone soft in the head, but even Mother doesn't trust that little stinker.
I do. I'm putting him on his honor. Pick it up tomorrow. I want to finish this last item I was writing.
Don't forget, $2.50.
You said $2.
Right, $2. I just wanted to hear you say it.
All right, so I'm dense. I don't get it.
I wanted Raymond to read it because then he'll let Dexter read it.
But wouldn't it be simpler just to give it to Dexter?
Don't be so naive. That would be too obvious. And then Dexter wouldn't believe all the things I'm going to write in for his benefit.
Oh, boy, what I'd give to see his face. Knowing my repulsive little brother, I bet he charges Dexter 50 cents just to read it. But what am I going to write? Oh, Mildred, you've just got to help me.
Honestly, what a dull, dreary life I really lead. Look at this. Tonight, we had spaghetti and meatballs for dinner. Isn't that a fine item for a romantic diary that's supposed to make Dexter sizzle? Oh, come on, suggest something.
Look, Corliss, this was just delivered for you.
Oh, thank you, Louise. Oh, golly, it's super sensational. I wonder what's in it. I don't know. Isn't that a beautiful bot? That must be all the candy eaten in Mississippi.
I wondered who rang. Oh, that's nice. Who sent it, Uncle George? Good.
Kenneth Marquis!
Let me see that. May this brighten a youth blighted by parental stupidity and miserliness. Kenneth Marquis. He did that to annoy me. I'll throw it out.
Daddy, you can't. What now?
That pinhead, that low-down, shop-worn Casanova Marquis sent Corliss this box of candy.
Daddy says I can't keep it.
Well, Harry, why on earth? Kenneth Marquis sending candy to Corliss?
Well, you see, Mother...
Corliss had nothing to do with it. He's trying to irritate me by showing me up as a cheapskate.
Well, since Corliss had nothing to do with Mr. Marquis, I don't think it would hurt if she ate the candy.
Look, Mom.
Well, anyway, you can't return it with a piece missing.
Well, Daddy ate that piece.
I don't care about the candy one way or the other. It's late. You girls should be in bed.
Careful, Mom. Hips.
Good night. Go to bed soon, girls.
It must have cost a fortune. Well, more than a rear axle. Imagine getting a present like that from Kenneth Marquis. Isn't that terrific? I'll say it is. I had a glimpse of him several times in my daddy's office. He was there on business. He never sent me so much as a Hershey bar. Ken is really awfully sweet. Even though we only met once, something electric passed between us. Afterwards, I said to Dexter that... Dexter? Kenneth Marquis. He'd be perfect to write about in the diary. Dexter will turn a bright, helpless green. Let's go to work. I'll fill in this page, and you take the next. Who's first? Let me see now. Kenneth Marquis. What a beautiful name. And he's so different from what I expected. He's gentle and kind and considerate and loving. I can tell he's been terribly hurt by all the other women in his life. But I know I can make him well again. He told me all he needs is the love of a good woman. And then he looked in my eyes and gazed deep into my very soul. Do you think it's too corny? Not for Dexter. There's old corn on the cob himself. I think that sounds swell. Now you try. He took me into his arms and kissed me. He was so tender, I barely felt his lips brush mine. Oh, Kenneth, I love you so much. How can I heal the scars left on your heart by those awful... Those awful what, Corliss? Well, we'll just put some exclamation points and he can figure it out.
Beat it. I got enough grief without you.
Don't you dare strike her.
Relax.
If Daddy knew you were here, he'd murder you.
He won't know. Your folks went out with mine to the Wilcoxes. I'm supposed to be staying overnight with Herb Brown. I don't see why there's all this stink. I'd never been in a gambling joint. Holy cow, a guy has to learn about life sometime.
If you wanted to see the place, you could have waited until I could go with you.
Your old man wouldn't let you go.
I don't really care one way or the other. But if I'd wanted to go, I could. Nobody ever said I shouldn't. Anyway, no one would ever even know.
Hey, wait a minute. If you're hinting...
I'm not hinting anything. I'm not even sure I'd be willing to go with you after the way you've acted. Even if you got down on your knees to ask me.
Well, you're safe. I'm not going on my knees. If your old man ever found out, he wouldn't let me come around for 20 years.
I would think that a person who wanted to get back into a person's good graces would not be cowardly about what a person might decide to suggest, possibly in some remote, hypothetical contingent.
You mean contingency?
I mean you're yellow.
Gosh, Corliss, anything but that. I'd get skinned alive, and so would you.
Run along. I'm not interested.
Okay, if you want to be unreasonable. You can be a jerk if you want, but I won't. You couldn't get me to take you out there if you stayed mad from now on. We're not going to get in that kind of Dutch, and you ought to thank me.
Thanks.
Holy cow, I don't know how dames can be such dopes. You're lucky I got willpower.
Ha!
Be as disgusted as you want, I still won't take you to the Penguin Club. Gee, it's wonderful when you're not mad at me.
I'm very not mad at you right now. Come on.
Oh. Jimmy left it unlocked.
Where do we go?
That door leads to the gambling room. When we get in, we'll sort of wander around like we belong here. Look kind of bored. Why?
What's that?
Probably a fire someplace. Wait a minute. They're raiding the place.
Daddy said they were going to close. Dexter!
What are we going to do?
If he finds out we're here and caught in a raid, well, that won't do any good.
Come on, we can't just stand here.
Where?
There. Here.
Is an ass. Calls himself a poker player. Raises on 3 of a kind. The Jackson Deuce is wild.
He won, didn't he? I'm going up to see if Corliss is coming.
Typical woman's logic. Because he won and I lost a measly $3. He's a good player.
Harry! Harry! Louise! Corliss isn't in a room.
Well, did you look in the bathroom?
Oh, of course I did. Her bed hasn't even been turned down. Louise!
What's the trouble?
Louise, have you any idea where Corliss is? She isn't in a room.
I went to bed early. She was sitting on the back steps.
She's not in her room.
She was sitting right there on the back steps.
Corliss!
Were there any phone calls? Did anybody come for her? Did she say anything?
No, where could she be?
She's not here.
What could have happened?
Louise, did she seem all right? Answer me! Oh, stop it! Well, it doesn't do any good to get nervous.
I know, but I want to.
Now, you go back to bed, Louise.
But I want to help.
I'll let you know as soon as anything... I mean, as soon as Corliss gets back.
I can't stand people who don't stay calm in an emergency.
I don't hear them anymore. Can't we get out now?
I'll take a look. It's okay, I think. Wait a minute. It won't open.
Do something. We just got to get out of here. Yell for help.
Help! 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 Help!
Are you hurt?
Nah. Anyway, as long as we're here, we can live high and stay thin.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Good night. Dexter is staying overnight at a boy's house. Martin Wilcox is home, and so is Mildred.
Well, she's probably out on a date with some new boy.
What could she be doing with a boy at this hour? Corliss goes out with boys all the time, and nothing ever happens.
She's always home by 12.
What could she do after 12 that she couldn't do before?
She could... Never mind.
I remember a time before we were married when you didn't get me home until almost 3.
Well, that was different. Anyway, Corliss is just a child.
It's caviar, all right. We won't starve.
It tastes like fish.
It is fish. Anyway, fish eggs.
I like it better when it's grown-up fish.
We're liable to be here long enough for those eggs to hatch.
Dexter, what are we going to do?
It's like being cast away on a desert island. At least we're together.
That isn't going to make my folks happy.
I'll bet they're going crazy mad.
Holy cow, it won't matter whether I get out of here or not. When your old man finds out, he'll kill us.
Yes, he will.
Hello, police department. This is Harry P. Archer, 1214 Sycamore. Yes. My daughter Corliss is missing. Well, how do I know where she is? If I knew, I wouldn't call you. Well, since early this evening. Well, she's 17. Well, she doesn't weigh very much. Hair. Well, her hair is sort of in between, I guess.
Harry, that's no description. Let me do it. Hello? Corliss is 5'2½", weighs 105, hips 34.
We want them to look for her, not make her a dress.
Yes, I have some pictures. She's such a pretty child. Yes, I see. But when? The police will be right over. Yes.
Go to bed! I'm sorry, Louise. I guess I must be upset, but you really should go to bed. Confound that woman. She should do her crying in the privacy of her room.
Harry, I'm convinced that Corliss is being kept wherever she is against her will. Maybe she's been kidnapped.
Maybe the car broke down.
She certainly could have walked to a phone by this time.
I think of all the times I've yelled at her.
She wanted to wear earrings, and I said she was too young.
We've been treating her as though she were a baby. Actually, you know, she's not a baby.
Oh, Harry, she'll always be my baby.
Dexter, wake up.
What?
Wait a minute. Help!
Hey, don't go away! Oh, it's too late. They've gone. Nearly broke my neck. Hey, wait a minute. It's open. We can get out. I'll go first. Come on. Corliss,
Yes.
if I don't see you again after tonight,
Why won't you? Oh, Daddy.
your old man will kill me.
Maybe I can smooch him out of it.
After the way he blew up when I went to the Penguin Club alone, wait till he finds out I took you there tonight. I wasn't even supposed to see you.
He'll murder you. And I didn't even get to see the gambling house.
Even if he doesn't kill me, he won't let me come around to see you for weeks, or maybe months, or even years.
Daddy never holds a grudge for more than a year.
In a year, you'll probably forget me.
Dexter, look! Right in front of our house.
They got out the cops. Your old man will probably have me slung on the clink.
Dexter, you weren't with me tonight.
Huh?
Well, there's no point in having Daddy tear you into little pieces. You know his temper.
What are you gonna tell him?
Oh, I'll think of something. Just remember, no matter what, you weren't with me tonight.
I can't do it. I can't let you take the rap.
Oh, I'll figure out a story.
When?
Oh, I don't know. Give me a minute to think. Oh, my mind's an absolute blank.
If it isn't a blank now, it will be when your old man gets through with you.
Dexter, not when he gets through. Before he starts.
Huh?
My mind's a blank. I can't remember anything. I've got amnesia, like in the movie.
It might work.
Oh, it's gotta work. But Dexter, you must remember, no matter what happens, no matter what I say or do, you weren't with me tonight.
I weren't with you tonight.
Wish me luck.
You're wonderful.
Have you any information to add to this? Got any idea about the identity?
If I had any idea, would I be standing here?
Just get Corliss home.
Honey.
Hello?
Baby.
Oh, Corliss, baby, you're all right.
Oh, baby, what happened? Where have you been?
I
What have you been doing? Answer me.
What happened?
Nothing.
You come in at 5 in the morning looking like that and say nothing happened?
Is it 5 o'clock?
Yes, it's 5 o'clock. Did you forget to look at the time?
I didn't forget, Daddy.
Then where were you?
Where was I?
Corliss, look at me. I'm here.
Corliss, what's the matter with you? Don't you know where you were?
Where was I?
If you think you're going to evade the question by playing guessing games...
I remember. I went to bed last night. What am I doing down here?
Corliss, you little fool, if you don't...
That chair. I never saw that before.
It's been there for 5 years.
Mommy, you and Daddy look different. Older.
A night like this would age any man.
Corliss, baby, what's the matter?
Everything seems so funny. Where are my jammies?
Your what?
Harry, don't you remember when she was a little girl, she always called her pajamas jammies?
Yes, Daddy. I should be in my jammies. Where did I get these clothes?
You got them where you get all your clothes, at Benson's, and I paid for them.
Harry, don't. Something's wrong. Look at her.
I am looking at her.
She don't look like the twin with the Tony.
Why is that policeman here, Mummy? I want my Betsy doll.
Oh, Corliss, baby, we gave away your Betsy doll ages and ages ago.
No, I just got it last Christmas. I want my doll.
She got that doll when she was 9.
You better call a doctor.
Stop this foolishness. If you don't call us, I... Oh, Corliss. Baby. Oh, what?
I'm fine, Daddy. Honest, I am.
Well, I guess there's nothing else we can do.
Thank you very much, officer.
Sure. Sorry. You know, I've often heard of these cases, but I've never seen one before. They're very rare. Well, good night.
Good night, officer. Hello, Dr. Pemberton in? Well, why isn't he? Oh, this is a fine time for him to have a baby. I know he's not having the baby. When do you expect to hear from him? Have him call Harry Archer. It's an emergency.
Harry, did you get the doctor?
No, he'll call back. Someday I'll find the man who did this, and when I do...
Daddy!
Who won the war?
We did?
How do you know if you don't remember anything for the past 8 years? The war hadn't even started.
Oh, Daddy, you're so funny. It's been over for ever so long.
How do you know?
We won after the British burned Washington. You remember? We've been studying the War of 1812 in 4th grade history. Dolly Madison had to get out of the White House so fast, she practically had to leave breakfast on the table.
I remember.
It was very exciting.
I know.
It was really a clam.
That's enough. Hello? Oh, Doctor, you've got to come over right away. Corliss has amnesia. But I don't care about the baby. But, yeah, but, well, if you're sure it doesn't matter to wait it. I see. All right. Thank you very much, Doctor. You'll be on this case all night.
Well, what about Corliss?
A few hours won't make any difference. Rest and gentleness.
What's magnesia?
Amnesia, darling. Nothing for you to worry about now. You're well along to bed.
I want Daddy to carry me up.
What do you think I am, an elephant?
Harry. Gentle.
Certainly, baby. I'll carry you upstairs to bed.
That's no way for you to eat breakfast, dear.
Would you have me sit in there listening to Corliss slurping her cereal?
She's only a child.
9-year-old child with a 17-year-old past.
I'm getting pretty good. I can almost do my 4th
choices without missing.
Oh, Corliss, go up to your room and play. I can't concentrate.
Daddy, you're not concentrating. You're just eating toast.
I know what I'm doing.
Oh, Daddy's thinking.
Oh, take her away.
Play somewhere else, darling. Harry, that wasn't gentle. That must be Dr. Pemberton. I can always tell his ring.
About time. Raymond, whatever you're selling, I don't want any.
I'm not selling.
Come back tomorrow or next week or preferably in about 7 years.
I'm delivering. I want to see Corliss.
She's not.
Corliss isn't well, Raymond.
What's wrong with her?
Whatever it is, it doesn't concern you. Now, will you please get...
Harry, it was a normal question. Corliss suffered a shock that has affected her memory.
You don't suppose she's forgotten she owes me $2, do you?
If she owes it, I'm sure it will be paid.
Mr. Archer, you're a lawyer.
Yes?
Isn't a parent responsible for the debts of a minor child?
Well, when such debts are incurred, according to the law, if... Raymond,
Corliss hired me to bind her diary in leather. She owes me $2, and if she can't pay, you're liable.
Listen, you little pest. Get him out of here before I...
You don't need to get emotional.
I think you'd better go, Raymond.
If Corliss has lost her memory, why don't you try and bring it back?
Get out before I...
I mean, remind her of the everyday things she did. It worked in a movie I saw. It was a pretty dumb movie, but it did work.
Thank you, Raymond. I'm sure the doctor will try that method.
Of course, you gotta know what to remind her of. Now, this is her diary. It'll bring back every day she's forgotten.
Whatever is in that diary we know about and can tell Corliss without referring to it.
Harry, there's just a chance that...
Okay. I was just trying to help.
Well, I think it's foolishness, Janet, but if it'll make you feel any easier, we can do it.
Oh, thank you, Raymond, for being so thoughtful. We'll try it.
That'll be $2.
Get out!
Okay. Harry, perhaps if we read her the things that were important to her.
I think we should, Janet. Corliss! 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 Now. Oh, Corliss. Corliss, we've told you that your memory is, well, affected. Now, I'm going to read you something from your diary.
Well, let's read from your diary.
Most certainly not. I want you to see if you remember any of this.
All right, Daddy.
Tonight we had spaghetti and meatballs again.
Oh, wait a minute, Harry. Go on.
Tonight we had spaghetti and meatballs again. I did my fingernails in a new color. It's called Scarlet Sin and is my darling Kenny's favorite color. My poor sweet Kenny, I know that he's more sinned against than sinning.
Mummy.
I'd do anything to make up for those bitter experiences he's had.
Mummy, we're hungry.
You had your breakfast.
We did?
Of course you did.
Let the world say what it will, we're two rebel spirits beyond the touch of earth.
Harry, what are you talking about?
I'm not talking, I'm reading. Daddy and Mummy played cards with the Franklins, and Daddy tore his shirt on the screen door.
That was just a few days ago.
It goes on. Kenneth Marquis, what a Kenneth Marquis! What a beautiful name. He's so different, kind and considerate and loving. I almost swooned when he proposed to me.
I will be so proud to sign my checks, Mrs. Kenneth Marquis.
We mean so much to each other. I'm a new woman. I know he'll be a new man. He asked me to his apartment to see his first editions. And, dear diary, he has wonderful first editions.
Veronica has fleas.
I never lived till I met Kenneth. All these wasted years with Dexter, I didn't know what I was missing. I was floating through the clouds.
Harry, I don't want you to read the rest aloud. Corliss shouldn't hear it.
She wrote it. Floating through clouds.
Daddy, is that a story about somebody in an airplane?
I ought to teach you what it's a story about with a razor strap, Kenneth Marquis, you little fool.
Corliss, try to think.
I want you to remember.
When did you? How did
What
you...
about you and Kenneth Marquis?
What's a Kenneth Marquis?
He's your angel dumpling, that's what he is.
Is Daddy mad?
Harry, I don't believe it. I just don't believe it, that's all.
It's here in her own handwriting. She didn't make it up. I tore my shirt on the screen door.
And we had spaghetti and meatballs that night. But I still don't believe it. I can't.
Where was she last night? How did she get her clothes torn?
I don't know.
Why did Kenneth Marquis send that box of candy?
Even though I can't answer those questions, it's still not true. There are some things you know without being able to explain them.
What happened that gave her amnesia?
I know Corliss. That's all I have to know.
Oh, it doesn't seem possible. He's so much older. But all his wives were young. Oh, they weren't as young as Corliss. They... Almost a year or two. Oh, they were different type girls. Were they different before or after they met Marquis? Corliss, baby, try to remember. Try hard. Did you ever see Kenneth Marquis' first editions?
Daddy, I wouldn't even recognize the first edition.
She doesn't remember a thing. Maybe it's a blessing.
Confound the rules of evidence, Janet. I think you're right.
I am Harry.
There's one way to get to the bottom of this.
Put him through. Mr. Marquis' office. Just a moment, please. I'll see. Harry P. Archer.
Tell him I've gone to Tahiti. No better than that. Say I'm down with bubonic plague.
He isn't in just now, Mr. Archer. Would you care to leave a message? I'll tell him. I want you to call. Very important. Can I help you? I want to see Mr. Marquis. He's very busy.
And so am I, but I want some advertising for my newspaper. I know Mr. Marquis doesn't handle it, but I think he'll see me when he looks at this.
What is this?
Photostats of a diary. He'll know.
I'm very sorry, but
Better
Mr.
show it to him anyway. There's always a chance he might want to see me. I'll wait.
Shropshire, did you mail those contracts registered special delivery? What's the matter? Have I suddenly grown a second head?
Far be it from me to tell you what you've done. There's a young boy in the outer office.
If you find that so upsetting, why don't you try some hormone pills?
He wants to see you. This is his card. And he sent these in.
Send him in. And stop jumping to conclusions.
That's no jump. It's barely a hop. Mr. Marquis will see you.
I knew he would.
Mr. Pringle, I presume?
Editor and publisher of the Pringle Herald. Mr. Marquis, your outfit does a lot of institutional advertising.
Some.
Have you ever thought of reaching the younger set through a paper exclusively for those readers?
The thought has not kept me awake nights.
I have space in just such a paper, and the price is right.
And if I give you an ad, you don't print these?
No, I don't care about those. Seemed like a good way to crash your office.
Tell me, before we get down to business, who is the author of this deadly prose?
You ought to know. Corliss Archer.
Corliss Archer? And I take it, since you've made photostats, the whole town knows about this diary.
You and me and your old man are the only ones that have ever seen it. But, what about an ad?
Mr. Pringle, you have shown a business acumen which will doubtless lead you to the halls of finance or to bars of Alcatraz. Give that to the advertising department.
Thank you.
Miss Trubshaw, see if it's convenient for me to call upon Mr. Harry P. Archer this afternoon.
It's going to be all right. I know it will. To each life, a little rain. Oh. Not going to get excited. Corliss, you go to your room.
Harry, if that's Mr. Marquis, please don't lose your temper.
I never lose my temper.
Shall I come in?
How do you do? I'm Mrs. Archer.
Mrs. Archer.
Please sit down.
After you.
I prefer to stand.
It was ever so nice of you to... This is rather embarrassing, isn't it?
Is it? Why?
Well, it's all very silly, but the fact is that my daughter has written a sort of diary.
Indeed. Well, I'm confident that it reflects her girlish charm.
Well, this diary is,
You are talking, I take it, about that volume that your husband is clutching in his clammy hand?
Well, it's all quite ridiculous, and I'm sure you'd be the first to... Go ahead, Harry. Please read some of it to Mr. Marquis, and then he'll realize how crazy the whole thing is.
Not all women know really great love. And so few can save the man they love from himself.
He doesn't read very fluently, does he?
Kenny Boy is so sweet. I'm lucky I found Kenny Boy in time. Kenny Boy is you.
Really?
That's from my daughter's diary.
Silly, isn't it?
No, I like it.
It's just schoolgirl romantic nonsense. But there are reasons why we couldn't question Corliss.
Naturally, after your contemptible invasion of the privacy of her diary.
It's none of your business what I do.
My name is mentioned.
I'll burn every page. Only a fool would think there was any truth in this.
Every single word of it is true.
Suppose I should thank you for... What?
Yes, I'm sorry you had to learn it in this underhand way, but since the truth is out, you might just as well know I love your daughter.
I'll kill him!
Harry! Mr. Archer, shall I call you Dad? No need for you to be so upset. After all, Corliss and I...
Corliss and you? Corliss and you? Corliss, I'll get her in here. We'll get to the bottom of this.
What a charming house this is.
Corliss! Corliss!
Yes, Daddy?
You come with me.
Corliss, dear, are you all right? Has he beaten you?
I'll kill him.
For heaven's sake, Harry, we've got to discuss this thing calmly.
Yes, Mom is right, Dad. You and I should have a little chat, man to man, and come to some understanding. I want Corliss to be my fourth and last wife.
Daddy, Mommy, I don't know what he's talking about.
Corliss, honey, everything will be all right. You'll remember in time.
Well, I remember now, except there's nothing to remember. I made all that stuff up. I wrote it 2 nights ago, just to make Dexter jealous.
They have beaten you.
I haven't put a hand on that girl yet, but how do you remember if you have amnesia?
Corliss, what are you talking about?
Mommy, I'm awful sorry. I pretended I had amnesia because I was out so late. But I don't know why Mr. Marquis says it's true. It isn't, of course. We made it all up.
How could you do such a thing?
Why did you pretend to have amnesia? I ought to... Out all night. All night?
Corliss, child, your fears are tearing at my heart. But think only of our future. Two joyous rebels, secure in our love, facing the world together.
I'm not a rebel.
Harry, we didn't read him that part of the diary.
No.
Please, I am reconciled to being your son-in-law. I can think of no greater concession.
You viper! If there weren't women present, I'd...
Dad, we mustn't quarrel. I want you to be just as happy as I am now that Corliss and I are... After all, we're practically strangers. When you get to know me better, you'll grow to love me.
Corliss, where were you until 5 this morning?
That is our secret. I resent your bullying this poor girl.
You keep out of this.
Honestly, Daddy, I'm telling the truth. You've got to believe me. I was with Dexter last night, and we got locked in the basement of the Penguin Club. Daddy, I'll call Dexter. He'll tell you.
My dear, you have nothing to be afraid of, nothing to hide. Don't run away. Mind if I sit down?
Harry, perhaps Mr. Marquis would like something cold to drink.
Come.
Dexter! Dexter, come here quick.
Is it all right with your old man?
Yes, yes.
Dexter, this is some male Bobby Sox character?
And I can prove about the diary, too. Mildred helped me write it.
I'll call her.
The night she stayed over. Raymond brought her toothbrush and stuff.
I thought I alone was entrusted with your girlish secret.
Why don't you tell the truth?
Hello, Mrs. Pringle. This is Janet Archer. Is Mildred there? Not home.
Hi, what's cooking? Dad, you tell him what's on the stove.
Dexter, you've got to tell me.
I'll ask the questions without your leading Dexter to perjure himself. Where were you last night, Dexter?
Who, me?
Dexter, you...
Not a word, Corliss. Where were you last night?
Who, me?
I am addressing you, and if you say who me once more, I will break every bone in your body. Now, where were you last night?
Herb Brown. Stayed overnight.
Have you seen Corliss since I told you not to?
No, but is it okay if I come around again?
We'll discuss that some other time. Thank you, Dexter.
What's it all about?
Dexter, please tell him the truth.
Well, I did see Corliss once when I was driving past Schroeder's and she was going in. I waved, but I didn't stop to talk to her. I mean, gosh, Mr. Archer, I wouldn't take a chance in disobeying you.
Dexter, tell him we were at the Penguin Club last night.
Who, me?
If she'd only asked me to take her to the Penguin Club.
About being locked in the basement.
You really want me to tell him that?
Yes, yes.
We were at the Penguin Club locked in the basement.
On account of the rain.
On account of the raid.
You know, there's something admirable about the way this boy tells his story. He lies like a gentleman. A rather immature gentleman, of course, but a gentleman nonetheless.
Who, me?
Yes, I see what you mean, Dad.
You may go now, Dexter.
Who? Oh, sure. You mean, see you later.
There, you see? I told you. Well, you heard Dexter. It's the truth. When Mildred gets home, she'll... Why don't you believe me when I tell you the truth?
Truth. Amnesia. Go to your room.
I will guard our secret of last night. Rebels to the end. Daddy, dear, far be it from me to interfere, but obviously you have upset Corliss terribly. Now, couldn't you try to be less the stern parent and rather more the pal?
You dirty, low-down, rotten Bluebeard.
Harry, what good will it do?
I forgive him. My love for Corliss is great enough to embrace even you, too. You see, I want to be more to you than just a son-in-law. For her sake, I want to be a son. I'll leave the door open, shall I?
Hello? Oh, doctor. Yes, I understand. But you don't have to come over. No, you see, it's not Corliss' memory she lost. It's her mind.
Don't you ever get tired?
Well, is that all you have to say to a friend and client who's entering holy matrimony?
You enter holy matrimony through a revolving door. Confound it, Ken, you're an idiot. Do you realize
For some reason best known to herself, this Archer girl wrote romantic nonsense about me in her diary. Well, naturally, I couldn't pass up a chance to see the man squirm, so I said it was all true.
Naturally. Naturally, Archer will sue the pants off of you for breach of promise when you refuse to marry the girl. He's no fool. He'll take you for every dime you own.
Oh, it won't come to that. He wouldn't have me for a son-in-law. See what that is, will you?
Mr. Harry P. Archer to see you.
Send him right in.
Did you see this?
I gave out the story.
Did you?
Dad, do I take it that you're not altogether pleased?
Why, you...
Congratulations, Archer.
Shut up! I'm going to sue your client.
Oh, Dad, I hope Corliss hasn't inherited your bad temper.
What do you mean by this? Answer me. Answer me.
Do you think I was just trifling with a good woman's love?
I wouldn't let Corliss marry you if call up and issue a denial.
Oh, no. All denials will be issued by you. We don't want any breach of promise suits.
I'll have a retraction in the paper by 6 o'clock, and maybe earlier if I can get them to print a special edition.
Very well. If your daughter's happiness is so unimportant to you, I will try to bear up manfully.
He certainly is upset.
Couldn't happen to a nicer chap.
America. Right on the front page.
All day long I've been followed everywhere I went. People after me, leering. I'm a lucky man to get such a rich son-in-law. One man I hardly know followed me home, asking me to sell Marquis life insurance now that he's taken on a new responsibility. You're the responsibility.
Did you find out how that story got in the paper?
Marquis, he sent it out himself.
Daddy, he's loopy to the tonsils. There's something psychological wrong with that man.
Like amnesia?
What about the retraction?
How will it look? Engagement announced broken the same day. People know Corliss was missing for hours. The police, the calls I made trying to track her down. Marquis' reputation, the talk.
Dad, you're not making sense.
Oh, we've just got to be calm. I'm all right now. I'm fine. I forgot to put the garage in the car.
Never mind the car.
All the way home, I kept thinking, what will people say? Wouldn't it be better to wait until the publicity dies down and then break the engagement quietly?
Daddy, I'm not engaged. I ought to know if I'm engaged.
This is all your fault, you little idiot. Why couldn't I have had 2 sons instead of a daughter? It doesn't matter if a boy can't say no. No! I don't want to see anyone. I'm not home. I've gone away to have a nervous breakdown.
No, Louise, we're not home.
No, I don't.
Must that woman cry all the time?
Come on, Harry.
What's got into you? This is the first time you've rung the doorbell in 14 years.
Things are different now.
Oh, she's on the back porch.
I came over to wish you congratulations.
Oh, don't be a goon, Dexter. I've got enough trouble.
I hope you'll be very happy.
Stop acting like Emily Post. I need help. Do you think I want some old goat of 37 who's been married 3 times already?
37? He's almost as old as Jack Benny. Gosh, Corliss, I don't know how you could do this to me. I know he's got more money than I have, but he's not as crazy about you as I am.
I didn't do anything to you or to anybody else. But nobody will believe me. It's all a mistake.
Then you're not going to marry Marquis?
Of course not. I wrote some silly stuff in my diary about Marquis and me. And now no one will believe me when I tell them it's just guff.
I believe you. Gosh, when I read the paper, it was like I got hit in the head with a baseball. I never felt so sick since Jefferson lost a game with Emerson.
It's only Dexter.
Yeah, it's only me.
Dexter, would you excuse us?
Huh? Oh, sure.
Bye.
Bye.
Corliss, your mother and I...
Corliss, dear, your father and I have decided that it would look better if the engagement is broken later.
Any retraction now?
Right on top of the announcement, well, people might, Anyway, we've decided to wait. Harry, please.
Well?
We're home. We've got to face this thing sooner or later.
It's the newspapers. Let me handle this. Don't say a word, Corliss.
Can't I even...
No!
Mildred, where have you been since yesterday? Well, never mind. You're here now. Now you'll see.
No doubt.
Corliss, I read about you. Isn't it exciting? Oh, it's the worst mess I've ever been in my life. All because of that silly diary we wrote. What diary? You know, What do you mean, what diary? Just the other night, when you slept here. Yes. The night the candy came and, from your fiancé. I wrote one page and you took the next. We were trying to make Dexter jealous. You remember?
Maybe she has amnesia.
About barely brushing my lips. You wrote that. I did? Yes. And about Kenneth Marquis's apartment in my diary. Well, why would I write in your diary? Because you... Do you suppose I really have amnesia?
statement for the Brooklyn Eagle.
I'm from the United Press.
I'm sorry, we're not seeing the press.
I'm going out the back way.
Well, goodbye, dear.
Pardon me. I'll take care of this one.
Mr. Kenneth Marquis for Corliss Archer.
Marquis.
Golly.
Oh, dear.
One. Tuesday. Wednesday. May your night have been brightened by the memory of hours we spent together.
Mr. Archer, about the $2 you owe me for finding
Some other time, Raven.
Golly, Daddy, what's in that?
Nightgowns. Goodbye.
Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday. Kiss and tell.
I knew you'd have to use your car sooner or later. Who are you?
Tom Bisco's.
I don't care. Get out. Glimpse magazine.
Get out, get out, get out.
Sorry, I thought that favorable publicity might be more welcome. All I want for you to do is... I know. Get out.
He's the emotional type.
Hi there.
That's a pretty good sheet you work for.
You're one of our subscribers?
It's dumb to buy a magazine when you can read them for free at a drugstore. You used the wrong approach on him.
What would you advise?
Trade secret.
What trade?
Newspaper.
Circulation end?
Editorial. Pringle's the name. Raymond Pringle. Pringle Herald. It's a weekly, too.
Thanks.
Here's a copy of my sheet.
Say, where'd you get this diary story?
I've got photostats.
Well, as one old newspaper man to another, how about having a Coke? On me.
Okay. I'll show you a shortcut.
I've been thinking about this a lot. The only reason Kenneth could have lied about the diary is that he wanted me for his wife so badly, on account of he loves me so terribly.
You and how many others?
The others don't count. But really, Dexter, why else would he lie?
I'd have been willing to lie, too.
I'm not fond of him the way I am of you. But he needs me. He has so little.
Have you ever seen that convertible he drives around in?
Money can buy that. Money isn't everything. Of course, it helps.
He's had 3 wives, and I haven't even had one.
Don't you see, Dexter? He's had those wives because he's been searching for his ideal. He says at last he's found that ideal in me. I mean, that's kind of a terrific sort of responsibility, kind of. He's been hurt by those awful women he married. He wants a home, children. What will happen to him if I let him down?
We used to talk about what we were going to do when we got married. I wanted a yellow convertible, and you wanted an electric dishwasher.
Uh-huh.
I want you to know that now I'm not going to get a yellow convertible, no matter what happens.
Oh, Dexter.
But I won't care if you get a dishwasher. Honest, I won't.
I wish to say, as chairman of the Citizens Committee, submitting my resignation, Oh, no, that's no good. Wish to say... Oh, what do I wish to say?
Perhaps as you sat down to write the speech, darling.
What has sitting down got to do with it? I don't do my thinking sitting down.
Harry?
Dog. I wish to say... Hello? What? Western Union. What? No, read it, please. Just landed. Seattle. See you Thursday. Kiss my favorite niece, George.
Uncle George!
Yes. Thank you. Yeah. Well, what do we do now?
I thought he was with a Navy unit off Alaska.
He'll be here tomorrow.
Harry, do you suppose...
Well, the publicity has died down in the past week. He's been at sea for over a month.
Let's say nothing. Then when he leaves, we'll make a quiet announcement that the engagement has been broken.
Hail the day.
Corliss, dear, now that the decision has been made, is there anything you want to tell us?
About what?
About tribal customs in the upper reaches of the Amazon.
Darling, your father and I would feel much better if you told us the truth about you and Mr.
But I've been telling you...
All right, dear. Rather not.
Mummy, would you honestly feel better if I said it was all true? The diary and everything?
We couldn't feel worse.
The most painful part of this whole affair has been the knowledge that you wouldn't confide in us.
All right then, Mummy. If it will really make you feel better, it's all true. I think I'll go to my room now and rest. At least until it's time for Frankie Boy's program.
A romantic little idiot.
Hi.
Dexter.
I always have believed her.
I knocked, but nobody answered.
Anything had turned up, no matter how slim, to bear out that fantastic story of hers.
Say, Mr. Archer, I wanted to talk to you, and I need some legal advice.
Oh, Harry, how could you?
It's kind of pressing.
I try to understand. Sometimes I think I'm going crazy.
I know.
It's about blackmail.
Hi, Dexter. I thought I heard your voice.
I've been talking to myself. Say, Mr. Archer.
Not now, Dexter, not now.
Tomorrow?
Yes, tomorrow.
I guess you know about this article in Glimpse. It just came out today. It's a good picture of you, Corliss.
I'm the father of a girl with a national reputation like Catherine the Great.
Uncle George is here.
Well, Corliss.
George is broad-minded.
But he is a Navy chaplain. There's a chance he hasn't heard.
Don't mention it unless he does.
Did you have a nice trip?
I had a very good trip, nice and smooth.
George.
Janet.
Well, it's good to see you.
Hello, Harry. Well, you all look wonderful, including my favorite niece.
Oh, it's wonderful to have you here, Uncle George.
You know, I'm getting a little superstitious about my visits. Every time I come, Corliss seems to be getting married.
You're looking well.
I got your postcard with the glacier on it.
Well, George, how long can you stay?
Just 3 days.
Oh, such a short visit?
Oh, you've got to stay longer than that.
Oh, well, let's not argue about that. George, you'll have some breakfast?
Yes,
No, thanks. No, I had a huge one coming in on the plane. All I need is just a moment to wash up.
oh, of course, of course.
Corliss, dear, show Uncle George to his room.
But just give me 5 minutes.
It's been simply...
Did you want this?
It's been ages since I saw you. You'll have to tell me everything that's happened to you. Just everything.
I'm afraid you'll find my activities pretty dull by comparison.
140 million people in this country. Not more than 1 million bought this magazine this week. He had to be one of them.
Do you realize what a reputation she'll have if we break the engagement? Do we have the right?
The right? Are you mad? We have a duty. If you think for one moment that I'm going to let her marry a man who...
Listen, Harry. If that diary is really true, and it seems to be, then Corliss is really in love with him, and he with her.
Hi, Mr. Archer.
Oh,
This is tomorrow.
I'll make a note of that fact on my calendar.
Do you mind, Dexter? We're awfully busy.
But you promised to talk to me about the blackmail today.
This moment, there's nothing in the world I'd be willing to talk to you about. Now, get out! Holy cow! Are you trying to sell me the idea that we ought to let that romantic little fool marry a man?
Darling, we can't expect to choose her husband for her. She's in love with him.
But of all men for her to... Oh, I don't know. Maybe we shouldn't interfere. Maybe we should let her marry him if that's what she wants. I don't know.
George.
What's new, George?
I sent Corliss to the drugstore for a paper.
Why, we get all the morning papers.
I wanted to talk to you.
Yes, I wanted to hear about your Alaska cruise.
What about Corliss and this man, Marquis?
Marquis.
Marquis. I couldn't be more shocked if a bomb had dropped in my lap.
We were a little surprised, too.
Well, the disparity in their ages. I mean, she seems so young to... Well, a man with his reputation.
Well, they say that love conquers all. I guess maybe they're right.
When is the wedding?
It's going to be
We haven't set a date.
I'd always promised myself that I would officiate at Corliss' wedding, but this, well, I couldn't be more opposed. Why, this man discards wives like old shoes. He doesn't know the meaning of the sanctity of marriage. Oh, all right, Janet. You know my feelings in this matter, but out of regard for you and Harry, I'll perform the ceremony. And we can only hope that since they're in love, it'll work out well.
3 wives.
Well, maybe 4 will be your lucky number.
If I were Archer, I'd be after you with a shotgun.
Now, the shotgun is customary only in cases where the bridegroom is unwilling. I, on the other hand, am panting with eagerness.
One slip-up and you're the formerly wealthy, Mr. Marquis. Aside from Archer, your stockholders won't stand for any more escapades in court.
Yeah?
Mr. Archer.
It's Pop. He probably wants another retraction. Hello, Pop. This is Sonny. Oh. Language. I don't know why you're so upset. Everyone knows that young love is impetuous. Oh, please, Daddy, dear. I seem to notice a certain belligerence in your tone. The what? Consent? What? When? Oh, I see. You do? Or you don't? You will? Who, me? Oh. I'm about to become a husband.
That's fine, Louise. Well, one rehearsal should do the trick. You wait in the hall until you hear the wedding march. Stand up. Stand up. We're all here now. The groom usually has a father or brother stand up with him. Have you any close relatives who might...
One of my ex-wives?
Oh, hardly. Let's get on with it. Louise. Dearly beloved, we are gathered and so on and so on to join together this man and this woman, and so on and so on. Well, there's no use going any further with this part of the rehearsal.
And certainly not on my behalf. I know it by heart.
I'm gonna wait outside.
I seem to have cleared the joint, don't I?
Well, perhaps I can talk to Janet and Corliss. Excuse me, please.
Cheer up, old fellow. If Providence shall bless you with a grandson, we'll call the little stinker Harry P. Marquis. The field is ours.
In another minute, I'd have been in tears myself.
Well, if you can explain to me how I happened to find myself in this position.
Because you belatedly came to what little sense you have. Try and get out of it now, and you have a breach of promise suit, a stockholder suit, and why go on with the list?
Well, I certainly shan't number it among the gayer weddings at which I have participated. Maybe I'm spoiled, but the others were much more fun.
I don't know. I thought the blood in your father-in-law's eye lent a nice touch of festive color.
Don't say it, Dexter. I'm thinking the same thing you are, only in worse language.
I guess I'll be a bachelor for the rest of my life.
At least you won't have a daughter to worry about.
I probably couldn't afford to get married anyway. Not the way I'm paying off now. I'm bled white.
I'm fond of you, Dexter. Always had hopes that someday, well, if it's a matter of $1 or $2.
No, that wouldn't help. Jimmy Phillips is bleeding me for $2 a week. It's liable to go on for the rest of my life. On account of that time I was out all night with Corliss.
When were you out all night with Corliss?
You won't tell my old man.
Answer the question.
The night we went to the Penguin Club and got stuck in the basement. Jimmy knew we were there, and he'll tell my folks if I don't pay off, and they'll kill me.
You deserve anything. There's proof that somebody saw.
Huh?
You can prove that you and Corliss were together that night?
Why, sure.
Oh, Dexter. But why did that weasel lie? Come on, Dexter.
Uncle George, have you any hobbies? I mean, do you collect things and things?
I have a large collection of antique rocks, every one of which I would like to throw at you.
Harry. So you were out with Corliss all night?
Well, don't embarrass her in front of all these people.
You're lying. Why? Dad, Corliss was with Dexter that night.
That's true, Daddy, I was.
Young man, what were you doing with my fiancée?
It was an accident.
You see, Daddy, I was telling the truth about that night and about the diary.
What about the diary?
My client is making no admission.
Shut up!
Temper.
I've got the answer if you want to make a deal.
All I needed was that little munch.
Pay me the $2 you owe me, and you get the inside story.
Redmond, you tell us what you know this very instant.
Mr. Marquis sent Mildred a flock of nylons. Asked her to keep up the gag and pretend she didn't know anything about the diary.
My very best friend. You bribed her.
I'll kill him. I'll kill him.
No.
Baby.
Harry. No, I'll kill him.
I'd have knocked your teeth out.
No. I seem to detect a certain animosity towards me in this room. Unless there is a marked change of attitude, I may not remain. I beg your pardon?
I'll kill him.
Archer?
I'm going to kill him.
Archer, I'm a witness to the fact that my client has acted in good faith, legally. However, if anybody wants to take a poke at him...
Oh, please, George, just let me kill him.
This is a great pity. Now you may never have a chance to love me like a son. Goodbye, Dad, you cad.
Why, you... No, George, I've made up my mind. I'm going to kill him. Well, Harry.
Let him go, George. Marcus deserves anything Harry can do to him. What in heaven's name is he to cry about now? I'm so happy.
I got something to settle with that guy,
You
too.
stay right here, Dexter. There's no reason for you to get hurt.
Holy cow, I'm not going to get hurt. I can take care of myself.
Hey, there ain't been nothing like this since the Battle of Gettysburg.
Corliss, golly, just think. It's like the Middle Ages. Both Daddy and Dexter have gone out to do battle with Mr. Marquis over me.
Wow. Oh, this is better than television.
Corliss, dear, I'm so happy this was all a mistake.
Me too, Mummy. And if I ever do marry anyone, at least I want to be Dexter's first wife.
Well, I never really believed it.
Look out. Look out. That did it. Right on the button. Where are you going? Kitchen. Ice cubes, all you got.
Oh, Harry, what happened?
Get that idiot dog out of my sight. Blasted animal went for me, not him.
Veronica, did you bite my daddy?
She sure did.
Oh, Harry. Oh, Mr. Archer, this is terrible.
Louise, get some ice cubes, quick. Raymond's getting some. Shall I get a cold towel?
Well, do something. Don't stand there yapping. I'm bleeding to death.
Harry, don't yell at her. It makes me so nervous.
Which is of more concern, her nerves or my life's blood?
I thought you were going to kill him.
Daddy?
No!
Oh, that's good. Put some on the back of his neck.
They aren't for him, they're for Marquis. He's in worse shape.
I can't understand it, Harry. In college, you were light heavyweight champion.
I hate that, Kenneth, for what he did to your poor nose.
I'm going blind.
Dexter, darling, your hand. He hurt you, too? Mother, look at Dexter's hand. Look how it's bleeding.
It's just a scratch. It's not all my blood. Gosh, I'm sorry, Mr. Archer, about your nose. Holy cow, that looks terrible. Gosh, I'm sorry.
Dexter, is that my daddy's blood?
I'll say it is. Get him out of here.
Dexter Franklin, I hate you.
Holy cow, I'm sorry. He stepped back just when I swung. I didn't mean to.
Get out. Dexter Franklin, get out of this house and never come back.
Who, me?
Out of my sight, out of my life.
Who, me?
I'll kill him if he says who me once more.
You father beater.
Harry, calm down. Hey, you're getting blood all over the Persian rug.
I'll get blood from here to Persia and back if I feel like it.
Louise, maybe you better get some more ice cubes.
Why, you insignificant little worm. I never want to speak to you again as long as I live.
Holy cow, can I help it if I don't know my own strength?
Oh, again. I'll kill him.
Holy cow, at last. This is wonderful.
Let me kill him.
Who, me?
I'll kill him. It's justifiable homicide.